Hi there, Stampers. Welcome back to fancyforstampin.com. I'm Josie Cauler, and this is part 2 in my 3-part series of 3 fall cards. Today we're going to be making this card using the Vintage Leaves stamp set and the Leaflets framelets. And I just want to show you the evolution of this card. I have to give credit for the layout to this card to dear friend of mine and fellow demonstrator, Casey. I started out with this, and I wasn't quite liking it, although I guess it's okay. I wasn't sure about what to do down in this part of the card. And from this, I went to this, which is, I think, a little bit better. I'm holding it too close to the camera, which is a little bit better. But then I went to Kathy's Stamp Club the other night, and we made a card with a similar layout to this. And I thought, you know what, that's what I'm going to do with the card, my second card that I'm making. So this is part 2 of my 3 fall cards, and this is what you're going to need to make this card. You're going to need a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 inch soft suede cardstock. You need a piece of 5.25 by 4 inch Very Vanilla cardstock. You will need for the banner a piece of 5 inch by 3/4 inch Very Vanilla cardstock. And you're going to need some scraps. You're going to need a scrap of mint macaron. You're going to need a scrap of rich raspberry, delightful Dijon, and soft suede. And I also forgot to mention at the very beginning that you're going to need the Pretty Paisleys embossing folder. That you can find this in the current holiday catalog. Okay, to start with, you're going to run this piece, this 5.25 by 4 inch piece of Very Vanilla cardstock through the Pretty Paisleys embossing folder. So we'll just line it up in there, and I'll take it over to my Big Shot and run it through, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's done. I ran that through my Big Shot. I've got this piece embossed with the Pretty Paisleys embossing folder, and I'm just going to set that aside for now. The next thing we're going to do is stamp the leaves on our scraps. And so I need my foam mat and soft suede ink. And I'm going to stamp this large leaf on my piece of rich raspberry scrap. Okay, set that aside. And then on my delightful Dijon, I'm going to stamp this large leaf, the long large one. And then on my mint macaron, this smaller leaf. And on my 5 by 3.25 inch piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, I'm going to stamp the thank you sentiment, and I got this one out of the Thoughtful Branches stamp set. So since I've got my ink pad open, I'm just going to stamp it, off toward the left a little. And again, I made a mess, so I'm going to flip it over and try one more time. There we go. Perfect. So I can close up my ink and set that to the side. Okay, the next thing I need to do is go over to my Big Shot and cut out the leaves that I just stamped. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my leaves cut out, and what we're going to do is attach them to the front of the Very Vanilla card base or cardstock that we emboss with the embossing folder. You're going to need to cut about a 4 1/4 inch piece of this burlap ribbon. And what I did was, after I cut it, I just folded it to make a V. And then I layered my leaves on the vanilla cardstock. Okay, I need to set that down and start over. I need 3 hands. So there we go. Okay, those are layered. And we've got our V with our burlap ribbon. And we're just going to staple that all together like that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is cut out, and I forgot to get it, cut out this fancy leaf from the Paisley framelits and out of soft suede cardstock. That's what this scrap is for. I'll go do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got this all punched out and cleaned up, and I'm just going to layer that over everything that I just stapled down to the front of the card, and I'm going to staple that in place like that. The next thing you need is a piece of linen thread. I've cut a 16-inch piece of linen thread, and I'm folding it in half, and now I'm going to make a little bow. Like that. And I'm going to attach it with a glue dot. Oops, there it is. It's stuck to my finger. I'm just going to put it right over like so. And we'll trim these ends. Okay, now we need to take our banner with the sentiment, and we need to banner the left end with our paper snips. And we will lay that over and fold it around. And you see how I have it a little past the edge of this piece. And once that's folded around, we're going to staple it twice in place, flip it over and add some dimensionals. And then we will attach that to our card base. there you go. There's our second fall card. Now you can make this say anything. It doesn't have to say thank you. It could say Happy Thanksgiving. It could say Happy Birthday, whatever you want it to say. So that's part 2 of my 3 fall card series. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video.